pink wings. He burnt my fairy jumps.
G'day cheeky dogs, today we're going to be going through the top 5 things that maybe you didn't know about the episode Dragon.
Oh man, these furry jocks are itchy. Maybe I should be shampooing these things.
Now I have already done a whole heap of videos about this episode going into a lot more detail and a lot more Easter eggs as well when this came out in Australia, so I'll make sure to link those in the comment section down below as well as the description box up here. You know, the whole drill. But these are just the top 5 things that I thought was so fun to share with you.
Oh, it's on!
And the very first one is the fact that this story, Dragon, is actually about Joe's dad and his granddad.
Chilli she was on her own. Mum wasn't around. And that was how my dad grew up, except it was his dad who died quite young. He did chart his own course with being a dad, I think because of that, because he didn't have an example there. And so to me, that's sort of what Chilli's character is. She's, to a certain extent, she's charting her own course as a mum.
I'm his daughter. He should take care of himself for me because I still need him.
So as you heard, Joe Brumm, the creator of Bluey, wanted to create a story like this to show what it's like for when a parent doesn't have their parent there when they become a parent. And we've seen this time and time again with Chilli, especially in Baby Race, when she quite obviously didn't go to see her mum for help but saw Nana instead.
Let's stop mucking around, eh? A bit of olive oil on those knees will do the trick.
But how is olive oil gonna help? Oh my goodness!
Mom, what are you doing?
And so I thought this was just a really great tie-in to find out then what actually did happen to her mum.
Your mum sounds nice.
Yeah, she was.
So let's go into that then. The second thing we're going to talk about is Grandma Cattle, aka Chilli's mum.
I've always wanted to make sure you come away from Bluey knowing as much as you can about all the different family members, and Chilli's mum was sort of the last piece of the puzzle.
Keep practicing. You'll get better. Just don't ever give up, Chilli.
Who is voiced by Kate Miller-Heidke, who is an Australian actress, singer, songwriter. She was in Eurovision, but sadly, of course, we see only the flashback of her when Chilli was young, and we do get confirmation that yes, she has passed away and that Bluey has not met her.
Who is that?
That's my mum. Your grandma.
Wow, she's beautiful.
I did do a much more in-depth breakdown about when she might have died and things like that. I'll again leave links up here and down below for it. But sadly, it looks like maybe we won't be getting any more scenes with Grandma Cattle.
You're not coming, are you?
Which then brings me into the next thing, and that is the saddled by grief reference. And this is quite on the nose. We see the horse that Chilli is riding throughout this episode, and it ends up being sort of like a replication of her feelings towards her mum, and more specifically the fact that like she's really been struggling with the grief of losing her mother and how to heal from that. And the very end scene is just a tear jerker. Like I get sad even thinking about it.
Thank you.
But it very much reflects the whole idea that Chilli has been saddled literally with this grief for a long time since she's lost her mum, and finally she's able to unsaddle the grief, so literally unsaddling the horse and healing from her grief and being able to let her mum go and move on with her life, basically with her new family with Bluey, Bingo and Bandit. So a little on the nose with the saddled with grief and unsaddling the horse, but I do love that the saddle turns into the wings of the horse that allows it to fly away. The fourth thing that maybe you might not know about, of course, is the epic amount of TV references, and most specifically, of course, the Dungeons and Dragons reference.
It's TNT! A motorbike? I thought this was an old-timey Elfie story.
All the characters mimic people from Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, it's on!
Chilli being the ranger,
Ranger?
Bandit being the barbarian,
Barbarian?
Bluey being the warlock,
Magician?
as well as sort of the game master because she is telling the story for us.
Once upon a time, some friends all set off to find a dragon.
And then Bingo is kind of up in the air. She could be the artificer, she could be the bard, we're not really quite sure.
The dragon's cave!
And of course, from the Behind Bluey podcast in Australia, we learnt that Joe Brumm is a massive fan of Dungeons and Dragons and used to play it a lot as well.
From a similar age, I used to play those games with my brothers and my brothers' mates, and I was most often what we would call the game master, right? And there's something so satisfying about providing a really fun experience. And there's something so similar now to what I'm doing in my job. Yeah, you're getting paid for it this time, but you're trying to create a shared experience purely because that is a fun thing to do. So I desperately wanted to have some type of fantasy adventure in Bluey. And so this app kind of came about, those two things collided.
Wow, this dragon's hard to find. Let's ask the wise old talking tree.
Oh yeah!
Also, mini shout out as well to like the She-Ra references with Chilli as well.
Oh well, I'm not that good.
And the very final thing is something that I had actually missed in my initial breakdown of this episode with all the Easter eggs, and that was the long dog. So I am here to rectify that now. I did make a post about it over on my Instagram, Aussie Girl Margie. I was very fortunate enough to be able to talk to one of the animators from Ludo Studios and ask them where the long dog was, because I knew it had to be in there. And they very graciously gave me a HD version where I could actually see the long dog, and it is hidden in the treasure chest in the cave. And you just see him as in like quick little scenes when you see that treasure chest.
Treasure! Yeah, boy!
I don't need a cup.
Also, there was one small change in the US Disney Plus version. So the subtitles for the end scene when a bandit is like drawing his car and he adds on a bull bar.
Nice car, Dad!
Thanks! Just did some bull bar.
The Disney Plus version has it as an oompha. The only reason I bring this up is because, of course, there are people who are hard of hearing or perhaps are deaf, and they use the subtitles to understand the episode. So these small changes, I always want to bring them up as well.
So those are the 5 amazing things I think that were in Dragon. But like I said, I do have a lot more in my other breakdowns, links down below. But while you're here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as that bell for notifications so you know whenever I release any other Bluey videos. Of course, though, if you want to listen to this podcast, they did one for all of the 3C episodes, and they are so good and filled with so much really cool extra information. However, they are only available in Australia, unfortunately, and not for the rest of the world. So if you do want to listen to them, you do need a VPN. I use NordVPN. I am not sponsored by them, but this is an affiliate link. This is what I use so that I can watch Bluey in Australia and listen to all these podcasts before they come out overseas. So again, I'll leave some details for that in the description box in the comment section down below for you.
That's it, Bluey!
But until then, I picked your cheeky dogs out a few other videos that maybe you would like to watch, and I'll see you all in another video. Mwah! Bye!